Unfortunately, COVID-19 cases are on the rise in Hampton Roads, and because we're part of the Hampton Roads, they're on the rise in Portsmouth. We've had a total thus far of 1,462 cases in Portsmouth and 22 deaths from COVID-19. Currently, we have 122 Portsmouth citizens in hospitals located throughout the Hampton Roads region, just not in Maryview only. And when we do our assessment of the data, we're seeing a very significant increase in the age group 20 to 29. And when we do the contact tracing, we're finding that it's due to social gatherings. It's due to family celebrations, birthday celebrations, backyard barbecues. So the takeaway is avoid crowds, keep social distancing, and wear a mask. This is of concern to us. The Portsmouth Health Director, in cooperation with the other health directors in the state, had communicated this to Richmond. And as you know, the governor has re-put restrictions on public gatherings in Hampton Roads, which is a good thing. We need to get in front of this. This virus is always looking for a new victim. And so it's important that we continue to work to stop the spread of the virus. Now, we've been doing everything that we can to help people and help small businesses, even from the early days. We've been providing food distribution using the federal funds. We're offering financial assistance through our Department of Social Services to assist people in paying utilities. Electricity, water, sewer, gas. We're offering financial assistance to assist people in paying both rent and mortgage payments, again through our Department of Social Services. And also through our Department of Economic Development, we're offering grants to businesses. And so anybody that wants to take advantage of this assistance, for utility assistance and mortgage and rent, please go to the Portsmouth Social Services Department. And for a business, contact Robert Moore, who's the director of our Department of Economic Development. We have gotten a grant from the Virginia Department of Emergency Management to buy personal protection equipment supplies. And we anticipate that those supplies will come in next week. And we'll be offering masks, the distribution of masks, the distribution of gloves and hand sanitizers next week through our fire department. We have been testing throughout this whole duration of the pandemic. And we have just gotten another grant, Maryview Bond Secures in the Portsmouth Health Department, to continue that testing. And that testing next week through this grant will start on August the 3rd at the New Mount Vernon, and I'm going to look at this so I can get the address, New Mount Vernon Baptist Church on Victory Boulevard. That's on August 3rd. On August 10th, the testing will be at Calvary Baptist Church on London Boulevard. August the 17th, New Mount Vernon Baptist Church. And on August 24th, Ebenezer Baptist Church on Effingham. So these tests will take place, rain or shine, next week. And then to add to what's going on, we have the threat of the hurricane. And the most recent report is that the eye of the storm will pass over the city of Franklin and Suffolk sometime Monday evening. So we've already started informing our citizens how to deal with a hurricane during a pandemic. and how to evacuate under pandemic conditions. And so that anybody that's concerned about that should contact our city manager's office. We have a city information number, which is 311. If you have any question about COVID-19, assistance of any type financially, food distribution, or how to make yourself safe from the hurricane, please call 311. Thank you. I'll be glad to take questions.
Regarding two questions, COVID-19 and the hurricane. COVID-19, are you guys looking at any racial, I guess, between minority testing, I guess, for that sense? Because I know there's been an increase of Latinos as well as African Americans who've been tested at high numbers and tested positive.
That's a very good question. 3 of the 4 churches are primarily African American churches. Calvary Baptist Church has a mixed congregation. So right from the start, we have made no distinction between color. We want to make sure that those that are most vulnerable either get tested or get the assistance.
There's no increase between racial disparities at all?
No, we haven't seen any disparity, but we're making sure that we can get the funds and the testing material necessary to, testing is the key. You discover more cases when you test, but that's important. When you do the contact tracing, you need to be able to do the testing too. Testing is a function of the reagent too, which has been in short supply nationwide.
Like you said, sir, the hurricane season upon us. Are you guys taking any precautions in shelters or anything like that because of the COVID-19?
We're preparing for that. That's one of the discussions that has been made, taken place on the regional level. We have a very active planning district, the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission, and we had a briefing at our last meeting on the status of shelters. And the pandemic is one of those considerations that have to be taken into consideration. So it's still a work in progress. It's too early to say whether or not we will open a shelter here in Portsmouth.
As of right now, are you planning to keep them closed, or do you not? You can't speak on that?
It's too early to call. We'll know more as we know more about the storm. It looks, and you hate to make a prediction, it looks like we might be having a water event as opposed to a rain and wind event. And I just jinxed it, I'm sure. But it's really too early to call.
So the fire department has enough PPE, they have enough equipment, high water vehicles to
Oh yes, yes. We have been working hard over the last 3 years to make sure that we have adequate emergency equipment to respond to situations like this.
And I know VDM put out a resource guide to let residents know here in Hampton Roads and elsewhere across the state, have extra hand sanitizer now, just different types of things to have. And are you doing anything for the public here for that?
Yes, in fact, that's the grant that I was talking about earlier. We're getting those supplies through that grant from the Virginia Department of Emergency Management, and we'll be putting the packages together for distribution next week. So we intend to make that distribution next week.
And regarding the distribution from the fire departments, is there any sort of, queue or line to get the supplies? Is somebody a priority, or?
That too is a work in progress, and we'll make that announcement probably on Monday after we get the supplies in and know the quantity that we've got.
And for the free testing, do you know how many tests are available?
I don't know the exact quantity, but it's enough to do 4 sites on 4 different dates. And again, the big variable in the test has been the reagent material.
What's the reagent material again?
It's what they use. chemical solution that they use to determine whether or not a person has the COVID virus. And I am not a doctor or a chemist, so I'm about to go over my knowledge boundary.
Who's conducting the testing or like paying?
It's going to be it's a partnership between Maryview Bond Secures and the Portsmouth Health Department.
What is the result time like?
We want that result time to be less than 7 days. If it gets beyond 7 days, it's useful information, but it's not really useful. There are tests that can give a positive in less than 15 minutes. That's not this type of test. And some of our hospitals have tests that they can get 1 day turnaround. I do not know what the turnaround will be on these tests, but the goal is to get the information in time that it can be useful.
And have you had any COVID outbreaks in departments? And if so, can you address which departments and how many?
Yes, we have. We've had, people who are our frontline first responders, and this pandemic has created a new definition. It's broadened the definition of essential workers. But we've had outbreaks in our fire and police and behavioral health care, social services, parks and recreation. And in each case, we start quarantining the people, do the contact tracing, but we also do the decontamination of the buildings that that person had visited. And so we even, on July 16th, which was a Tuesday, we were to have a city council meeting, and we postponed it to the following Thursday because a city employee had tested positive over the weekend. In fact, there were 5. And we took that Monday and Tuesday to decontaminate the City Hall building. And so we have been decontaminating buildings such as City Hall, behavioral health care, fire stations, vehicles.
And do you know how many employees have?
Oh, I don't. Do you know, Lavors?
It's not more than 5 people.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.